Chairman.
Sige po.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to reassure Secretary Anyo that this representation fully supports your budget. And with the able leadership of our minority leader, Ben Ebante, we will support you all the way. You deserve a bigger and better budget for 2021. Maraming salamat po for the opportunity, Mr. Chairman. Thank you and good afternoon.
Ang susunod po na magtatanong ay si Representative Deputy Speaker Ferdinand Hernandez. Nandyan po ba? Deputy Speaker
Yes, sir.
Ferdinand?
Mr. Chairman, can you hear me?
Malakas po.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Magandang hapon po sa APRA Committee and then, of course, sa ating PNP and DILG family. First, gusto ko lang i-congratulate ang PNP chief natin, PNP Kascolan. I think it's a long overdue appointment. So, I've been in Congress and marami na siyang position na pinagdaanan and I was listening intently to the answers doon sa mga questions sa kanya and I'm convinced that he knows where he's going to take PNP na makaka-contribute sa peace and order natin. So congratulations. Also to former regional director ng Region 12, Alfred Corpus, who is now Director for Operations. Congratulations. And of course, nandiyan din yung aking RD, Mike Dubria, who was doing well since he assumed in Region 12. So, meron lang akong reminder sa PNP. During the last budget hearing, I asked for a support. Merong unfinished building dito sa Provincial Command ng South Cotabato na kailangan ng 2 million which was committed by former PNP Chief Albayalde. Gusto ko yung tanungin kay PNP Chief, tuloy po ba yung 2 million na para matapos yung building ng PNP headquarters dito sa South Cotabato?
PNP?
Yes, sir. We will finish that. We will look it up at the trust receipt, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Maliit lang naman yon para matapos. And siguro isa pang reminder, katulad ng mga colleagues ko kanina, together with the DILG, na kung pwede yung vetting process natin sa mga surrenderies natin, medyo talagang tignan na mabuti kasi importante po yun. Lalo na ngayon may anti-terror bill tayo and sana yung mga surrenderies natin are really legitimate. And our RD Mike Dubria knows what I'm talking about. And I think he's doing quite well now, coordinating also with armed forces as far as yung surrenderies natin na New People's Army. Na ayusin lang yung vetting process at para sabihin na ito ay tunay at hindi ito nagiging trophy ng ibang tao. So may ask comment of PNP Chief.
Yes, sir.
PNP?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair. With regard to the surrenderies, we will keep on vetting them and we will evaluate them periodically, sir.
Okay, to DILG Secretary Anyo, unang-una, sir, I hope you're okay. You've been medyo 2 beses kayo tinamaan ng COVID and now you're here doing your job and congratulations. You're very dedicated, especially sa pagtulong. Siguro, salamat din doon sa public markets na binigay nyo sa akin ng City of Coronadal, Pulumulok, Tangtangan at Santo Niño nakatanggap. Baka naman may extra kayo, hindi pa tapos yung sa City of Coronadal, dagdagan nyo sana. So, reminder lang. And kay Secretary Anyo, also, siguro sir, we need more and stronger presence ng DILG pagdating sa implementation ng IATF. I know there are certain conflicts sa mga local government units natin and sana mapolish ng todo na hindi nagkakaroon ng conflicting implementation. So we need a stronger presence on the DILG in implementing IATF policies. So can I get the commitment of Secretary Anyo?
Yes, Mr. Chair, Your
Secretary
Honor.
Anyo?
Yes, Mr.
Pakisagot
Chair.
po ang katanungan ni Deputy Speaker Hernandez at pagkatapos po nito ay mukhang ang dami niyo na pong nabigay sa lugar ni Deputy Speaker at medyo nakakainggit naman, Secretary, kasi yung mga meron sila, wala kami. Bakit ganon? Secretary Anyo?
Mr. Chair, Your Honor, opo, makakaasa po kayo sa aming commitment. Palalakasin natin ang presence ng DILG at patuloy kami magkakaroon ng consultation sa LGUs para lahat po ng anumang issues at conflict ay mariresolve natin. We will fight this COVID-19 together as one. Salamat po.
So last, Secretary, mayroong allocation ng fire truck sa South Cotabato. I think Norala, gusto ko lang tanungin, later you can padala nyo lang sa akin ano yung feedback, ano ng status ng fire truck na allocated pa nung last budget. So I hope may implement na. So yun lang, Mr. Chair, I'd like to of course support yung increase ng budget ng DILG and PNP. They deserve our support. They've been doing quite well. And with the new leadership of PNP, I know they're in the right direction. Tulungan po natin sila, dagdagan yung budget. And of course, lalo na rin sa DILG na medyo nakita naman natin, tinamaan si Secretary Anyo 2 beses. Matibay talaga, kaya kailangan supportahan natin na mas marami pang ma-implement ng mabuti ang DILG. Salamat po at magandang hapon sa inyong lahat.
Next to interpellate is Representative Mark Go. Next and last to interpellate, Congressman Mark Go.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Can you hear me from here? Hello? Can you hear me?
Opo, dinig na dinig po kayo,
Mr.
Congressman.
Chair, marami pong salamat, Mr. Chair. Unang-una po, gusto ko pong pasalamatan si Secretary Anyo sa kanya pong tulong dito po sa lungsod ng Baguio. At gusto ko rin pong i-congratulate ang pride ng City of Baguio, ang bago po nating Chief ng PNP, si General Camilo Cascolan. Congratulations po, General Cascolan. Ang tanong ko po ay tungkol po doon sa budget natin sa retirement ng ating kapulisan. Nakalagay po dito na ang budget na inallocate natin is about 6 billion pesos, 6.5 billion pesos. Gusto ko pong itanong kung ito pong budget na ito ay kasama yung pong indexation ng ating pong kapulisan na nag-retire na sa serbisyo.
Mr.
PNP.
Chair, on our latest, the indexation is actually included.
Marami po salamat. Marami pong nagtanong sa akin tungkol dyan. Kanina pong umaga at alam nila kayo po ay dadalo dito po sa ating public hearing tungkol sa budget po ng DILG. Isa rin pong gusto kong itanong, nabanggit po ninyo kanina, Ginoong Cascolan, na ang ating pong ratio, ideal ratio is 1:500 na populasyon, isa pong pulis at 500 ang populasyon. Ang nabanggit nyo kanina, meron po tayong 203,538 na kapulisan at ang current ratio natin ay 1:540. Pero ang ideal is 1:500. Kung ma-hire po ninyo yung pong unfilled positions na 30,572, yung pong ideal ratio na 500 per one police, tamang-tama lang po yan. O kung baga, mas mababa pa po doon, 1:500. Sa palagay po ninyo, ma-hire po natin ang ating pong 30,572 probably in the next first 6 months of 2021.
On the first 6 months,
PNP.
Mr. Chair, on the first 6 months, Your Honor, we will not be able to recruit the 30,000. We may be able to recruit only around maybe a total of 9,737 or 95%.
Alam po ninyo, lalo na po dito sa atin sa Cordillera, sa Benguet at Baguio, marami po tayong mga kababayan dito na gustong sumali sa kapulisan dahil po napakaganda po ng pangalan ng ating kapulisan dito po sa ating Cordillera at sa buong bansa. Kaya inaasahan po natin na mabilis ang pag-recruit natin dito at the same time, kung magawa po natin ng paraan para ma-hire natin yung 30,572 positions na available. Isa pa pong tanong ko tungkol naman po sa BJMP to. Magkano po ang per capita budget natin sa bawat preso sa ating bansa ngayon sa kasalukuyan?
BJMP?
From BJMP.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Your Honor. Ang budget po, Your Honor, ay 70 pesos per day.
Dito po sa proposal po ninyo, meron po bang pagtaas yung per capita budget ninyo para sa kanila?
BJMP, pakisagot po ang huling katanungan ni Congressman Mark Go.
Yes, Your Honor. We are proposing sana na madagdagan pa yung budget namin but unfortunately, hindi po tayo na napagbigyan.
Ang susunod po...
Salamat po, Mr. Chair. Just one manifestation. I would
Sige
like
po,
to
sige po.
express my full support to the budget proposal of the DILG and the other organizations under DILG. And if need be, I think we need to increase the budget, probably very close to the original proposal of DILG to the Department of Budget and Management. Thank you very much at magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat.
Thank you, Chairman Mark Go ng Committee on Higher and Technical Education. Sa ating susunod, hindi pa po pala huli at meron po palang dalawang tinawag kanina via Zoom ay hindi nakasagot, ngayon po ay nakabalik na sa Zoom. Ang mga nagbabalik, Congressman De Venecia. Mag-uumpisa na po ang iyong pagtatanong, Congressman Tof De Venecia.
I like how you put it, Mr. Chair. Nagbabalik. Alright, good afternoon sa ating DILG family. Dalawang katanungan lang po. Ang una is patungkol sa BJMP. And kasama ko lang actually yung heads na aming BJMP sa distrito last weekend. And nabanggit po nila sa akin na kasi I was asking, so paano na yung mga PDL natin ngayon? Paano sila binibisita ng kanilang mamahal sa buhay since we have social distancing protocols? And basically they said na meron po ngayong e-dalaw na nagaganap. And so I asked, okay, so do you have enough facilities for this e-dalaw? Not to mention yung mga trainings via TESDA na pwedeng i-conduct dun sa ating mga PDL. So kasama po ba sa budget ng DILG sa 2021 NEP yung mga facilities tulad ng mga laptops, computers, devices para we're able to conduct the e-dalaw and yung mga training through TESDA and many other activities for our PDLs. Mr. Chair.
BJMP?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Your Honor, for next year's budget ng BJMP, meron po kaming naka-allocate na almost 40 million pesos para sa pagbili po namin ng mga computers, laptops para magamit po sa programa namin sa e-dalaw, telehearing, cyberbullying, teleconference.
Sana po, Mr. Chair, makapag-allocate sila sa BJMP namin sa Dagupan City, sa 4th District of Pangasinan. And then, doon naman sa issue or usapin ng mga fire trucks, yung isa pong municipality namin sa aming distrito, yung San Jacinto, 2 years na po namin kasing rini-request yung fire truck para sa kanila. And sa kasalukuyan ay nangihiram pa sila sa neighboring municipality. So sana po ay makonsider ito ng ating BFP naman. Ang aking pong huling katanungan, Mr. Chair, ay para sa National Youth Commission. I wanted to find out, how do you envision the role of SK in our nation's fight against the pandemic? And what is the NYC doing about it? Kasi, I mean, I heard some proposals from DepEd na I think yung SK gusto nilang itap bilang para-teacher sa pagbabalik eskwela ng mga estudyante sa darating na Oktubre. So, I mean, what is the NYC doing about it? What are your plans for the SK that we are in the middle of a pandemic?
NYC? Tao po, NYC.
Magandang hapon po, Mr. Chair. We envision po sa mga SK po natin na gumawa, wag po na sayangin yung kanilang mga budget para sa mga kabataang Pilipino and sa kanila po mga nasasakupan kasi po yung budget po
Congressman Tof de Venecia, talagang hindi maganda ang linya ng NYC.
Siguro,
Sana po ay magpakabit ang NYC ng Wi-Fi na maganda ang data. O kaya magbayad po ng, meron naman pong mga nabibili na promo, parang 300 pesos may maganda ng data. Congressman De Venecia?
siguro kasulatan na lang po yung sagot ng NYC sumite sa committee. Because we know we are curious with regards to the SK, especially in the implementation of the Youth and Nation Building Act. I mean, they were suspended and then recently brought back. And then they do have a 10% access to the era of the barangay. So we just want to know how the funds are being implemented or spent. And we want to know kung ano ba ang magiging role ng SK ngayon na nasa gitna tayo ng pandemya. It's unfortunate that the NYC's connection is not very good, but if they can submit in writing their reply to my query, I think that will be very much appreciated. Yun lang po, Mr. Chair.
Maraming salamat, Congressman Tof de Venecia. Ang susunod po na magtatanong, ang huling magtatanong ay si Congressman Dimaporo, Abdullah Dimaporo. Maaari na po kayo magsimula ng inyong pagtatanong, Congressman Abdullah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Tanong ko po ito kay Sekretaryanyo ng DILG. Ang local government code o ang local governments, mayroon ng mga opisina na equivalent to the departments doing social amelioration projects. Katulad po ng DSWD. Mayroon ding DSWD sa probinsya, Provincial Social Welfare Department. Yung naman sa Department of Agriculture, mayroon ding Provincial Agriculture Office. Yung Bureau of Animal Industry, mayroon ding Provincial Veterinary Office. At mayroon pang iba. Mr. Chairman, my question is, are the departments or can the departments be required to work with the local governments in implementing their social amelioration projects dahil ang karamihan ho sa mga departments, national government departments, kulang po ang mga tao nila. And then we noticed na kuminsan nagkakamali sila. And then this will also reduce yung kung nawawala ng pera, this will also be reduced. Itong pagwawala ng pera ng social amelioration project because the national government can validate the proposal of the provincial of the local governments, and also if they know that they are doing something, the local governments can also check on the work of the national government departments. So my question, I'll go back to my question. Can the departments be required to work with the provincial and municipal governments and including the barangay governments?
Secretary.
Mr. Chair, Your Honor, thank you very much sa question. Actually po, kaya po meron talaga tayo na tinatawag na Regional Development Council, Provincial Development Council. Ito po talaga yung convergence ng lahat ng mga ahensya upang matugunan yung pangailangan ng isang probinsya. So, kailangan lang po rito ay pagpalakasin pa natin ang convergence dito sa Provincial Development Council. Lahat po sila ay mandato na makipag-coordinate at makipag-consult sa ating mga governors para po ang lahat ng pangailangan ng probinsya ay mapag-usapan, magawa ng programa, mapa-aproba ng budget, at ito na rin po ang dapat na susundin kapag ka po nilagyan ng budget. Bayaan niyo po ay sa panig po ng DILG, gagawa po kami ng kakulang rekomendasyon sa iba't ibang ahensya ng gobyerno na dapat ang effort namin ay pag-isahin. Sa ganitong paraan, mako-conserve natin ang resources at maibibigay talaga yung pangangailangan sa mga dapat na mabigyan. Inaamin po natin na minsan ay nagkakaroon ng hindi coordination o miscoordination at nasasayang yung ibang mga resources. So, isa po yan. Sabi nga po dito sa ating GAA, required po na i-convene ang lahat ng local development councils bago aprubahan o ibigay o ipamahagi ang budget na galing sa GAA. So, palalakasin pa po natin yan, Mr. Chair, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Congressman Dimaporo.
My second and last question, Mr. Chairman, is to the Philippine National Police. We have a forest protected area, the Mount Inayawan, in the municipality of Nunungan. And this forest gives us water for the rivers that go through the Kapatagan Valley, where we now have about 12,000 hectares of irrigated land. And our problem is that no one is apprehending illegal logs and no one is investigating who is the financier or who is the owner of the illegal logs. So what is happening, there will come a time that the protected forest will have insufficient trees to give us the water that we need in the irrigated lands. So my question, Mr. Chairman, to the Philippine National Police, can they apprehend the illegal logs? It can be they can check whether they have the permit of the Department of Environment and Natural Resources. And if they don't have the Department of DNR, the permit of DNR, then can they apprehend the logs and question the driver and the laborers who owns the logs, and then can they not proceed to file cases against the owner of the logs who has no permit in cutting the trees of Mount Inayawan? That is my question, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Congressman Bobby Dimaporo, for that last question. The Chief of the Philippine National Police.
Mr. Chair, thank you, Congressman Dimaporo, sir. We shall be coordinating with the Regional Director of Region 10 At the same time, we will coordinate with the Department of Environment and Natural Resources. If there are forest rangers in the area, we shall be coordinating with them so that we would be able to beef up the security of said reservation. We will try to come up with the filing of cases if we will be able to identify those who have been illegally situated inside the reservation area. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I will just personally talk with Secretary Anyo about these two concerns. The logs are, some of the illegal logs are filed along the national highway from Iligan City to Zamboanga City. So it's very clear that there are such illegal logs in our province. So thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Secretary Anyo, and thank you to the PNP.
Thank you very much, Congressman Bobby Dimaporo. Just a note from the chair. I would just want to ask from BJMP. I can recall in 2017, this representation, not 2016, this representation, together with the House of Representatives, we placed a budget in the 2017 GAA for Type A jail buildings in Zamboanga City. And this is timely considering that we are in a pandemic and we would want to decongest our BJMP, the City Reformatory Center in the city of Zamboanga. Can BJMP submit to this representation, to the Committee on Appropriation, the report on the construction of the Type A jail buildings, which we appropriated in the 2017 General Appropriations Act? Paki-submit na lang po because we placed a budget to BJMP for that, and please report. And just a question, that is for buildings. Does BJMP have funding for the perimeter fence for those buildings to be constructed in Zamboanga City?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Your Honor. The construction of the jail facility in Zamboanga City Jail does not include the perimeter fence, Your Honor. Hindi po kasama yung perimeter fence. Jail building lang po.
Baka magkakaproblema tayo, General, and at least nandito si Secretary Anyo. Though we are constructing jail facilities na walang perimeter fence. Please include that, and I think the House of Representatives will be very supportive to the proposal of BJMP to have that those buildings secured by a perimeter fence. Please submit their proposal, and before we go to the plenary next week, we hope to see that in your proposal for the 2021 budget. And last, I am happy to see the controller of the PNP, former regional director of Pro9. And I'm very familiar. Also, Secretary Anyo is familiar with the different facilities in Zamboanga City. I think he's familiar with Western Mindanao Command. Secretary Anyo is familiar with Edwin Andrews Air Base. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Secretary Anyo is also familiar with the Pro9 camp, the Camp Colonel Abendan. Ang pagkakaiba lang, ang ganda ng mga camp development ng AFP. General Cascolan, pakitingin po nung kampo nyo sa Pro9. Maganda yung mga yung Westmincom, yung road network, naka-concrete, yung IAB Edwin Andrews Air Base. Please, check. Probably walang RD, nahihiya lang sila lahat magsabi niyan. But pinalakad ako doon ng PNP, siguro nahihiya sila magsabi, pero I think we should really be like the AFP when it comes to camp development, because I admire how they develop Westmincom, the Edwin Andrews Air Base, and I hope the PNP will follow suit into improving. Masikalsada lang po sa loob ng Pro9, 10 congressman under dyan sa Pro9, 10 kami. We will be supportive
of that desire of us to see Police Regional Office 9 have at least, maski perimeter road lang. General Cascolan, please, Chief NP.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair.
And I can see, probably General Likop will not mention it, but he has been there. Puro putik po. So I hope please take note before we go to plenary.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Next week, please include that. So with that, Representative Baronda.
Mr. Chair, wait, I would just like also to request to the good Secretary Anyo, to please look also to R6, Region 6, ayun, mga kababayan ko, Chief Cascolan, and of course, Delgado. Please try also to look on the construction of the 4-store Regional Tactical Operations Center in Iloilo City, because you badly needed this. Thank you so much. Mr. Chair, with that, I move to terminate the budget deliberation of the Department of Interior and Local Government and attached agencies.
There is a motion to terminate the budget briefing of the Department of Interior and Local Government, also with its attached agencies. Is there any second? Chair, here's a second. The budget briefing for DILG and attached agencies is terminated. At last, after 7 hours, ilang ba tayong oras?